a recording, and he said, "Man, show me how to play this lick." And so it was such a simple thing to me, but it was just a phenomenal revelation to him. He's like, all this time he just didn't know what it was. So I'm gonna show you what it was. It was a lick. That was the lick. I'm in a different key. It was actually Georgia on My Mind, and it was what's my man name? I'm going blank. Why am I going blank? Gerald Albright. So it was Gerald Albright. So that lick right there. So that first part is just an enclosure. All right. So if we think about it, it's a 2-5-1. Okay. So that's B flat to E flat. So B flat minor to E flat 7. And so if we look at the timing of it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, ba, ba. If you think about that, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and boom. So if it's a 4-note enclosure, you got 4 notes before you land on the note that you're targeting. All right, so 7 going to a G7. All right, so if I got, my enclosures coming on, of course, beat 1, 2, and then the 2 is on the 1. I mean the 2, 5, 1. Somebody calling, and my phone is in there. Hold on, let me stop the call because we are live. All right, so if we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1. That's going to be D minor 7 to G7 to C major 7. So if I'm going to play eighth notes for my enclosure, I'm going to play 3 and 4 and 1. So that would mean if I'm going to enclose the 1, I can also enclose the 3. So I'm saying the 1 is. So if we got 1, 3, 5, 7 on D minor, I can enclose the 1, the 3, the 5, or the 7. Depending on which one I want to do. So you've heard this before, and that's what Gerald Albright did. He just did it, the enclosure over the B flat to E flat, the 2-5-1 at A flat, but it didn't go to A flat. It went to F in that particular Georgia on My Mind. So here it is, so y'all can hear it. Y'all used to this sound. That's a 2-5-1, but 3 and 4 and 2 right there. That's where you play. That's where the minor chord starts. So I'm just playing 3 and 4 and boom. So if I do a 2-note enclosure, that's 1, 2, bump. So that'll be 4 and bop, right? Or I can do 3 and 4 and bop. Or I can do and 3 and 4 and bop. Or 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and bop. You know what I'm saying? So the enclosure would be the previous bar before you land on the 1, And when I say land on the 1, I'm talking about the beat. But you can outline or enclose the 1, the 3, the 5, or the 7, or 9 if you want to be a lot slicker, or 6, but it just depends. Mostly people will enclose the 7 or enclose the 5 or the 3. That's common. That's what you hear. So here it is. So let me get this in your ear. So when y'all hear that, that's all enclosures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? So that's like leading tones to outline the 5. And you can play an enclosure on a different beat. You can play the enclosure within, the 1. You don't always have to lead into it. So what I mean by that is, that doesn't have to be the downbeat all the time. I left my phone in the house, so I can't put on my metronome, my Drum Genius. But if I tap 1, 2, I'm sorry, 1, 2, You see that? Instead of doing a leading, your enclosure notes to lead into the 1, you can actually play it within 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? The beats. All right. So that was the enclosure, a 4-note enclosure, or a 2-note enclosure. So, that's another enclosure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we land on the 5. So that's just a different type of enclosure. So enclosures are really cool. It's always good to know when you hear a certain line to be able to identify if it's an enclosure or not. And so I showed you some different examples of enclosures, enclosing the 3, enclosing the 5, and even doing the 1. That's another enclosure. Yeah. So those are different types of enclosures. And for starters, you want to transcribe some. If you're not hearing them, transcribe some, learn some of the ones that I played here, and start trying to work on playing those in different keys. All right. So that's all I want to show you today. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe to my channel here, the Texas Tenor Academy, where I show you music riffs and also monetization, how to manage